Mate, at this point, we're lost. Everyone's standing around, and there are about 3 ways we could go, and there's people suggesting every way we could go. Lindley, according to Lindley's plan, the original plan, we're going down that hill, but there are people that want to go straight ahead, and a lot of people are just standing around going, hey, what's happening?
We've got to make a decision, let's go.
Stay on the road.
You don't want to go to Darling Harbour now?
Go that way and go down through the road. Rather than ride it, because otherwise there's too many pedestrians. Someone might get hurt. Right, either that or go this way.
A second law of the mass dictates that pedestrians, emergency vehicles and buses be allowed to move through the mass. A law not always easy to uphold.
Usually on critical mass we end up with a bit of a random route. The fine details sort of get lost. But I think we've seriously irritated that bus driver, and that's not a good plan. The idea is we normally try to let the buses go.
The ride climaxes with a gesture of defiance and victory.
But even the bike lift took a long time to get used to. And I first saw this in November '97, and I just freaked out. Thought it seemed to me like it was going for 20 minutes. Right? You can't hold a bloody push bike above your head for any more than about 30 seconds. It nearly kills you. And so then it's understanding what they do and how they express themselves. Well, technically we could stop them doing it, but you have to weigh that up very thoroughly. Say if critical mass had sat in George Street for 25 minutes, the east-west traffic would start to block up. It would be affecting thousands of people. It would start compromising emergency services.
I've seen it happen once, not in Australia, where the police said there will be no critical mass. There were 1,000 cyclists gathered, and the police got on the megaphones and said, go home, disperse, there is no critical mass, go away. About 500 of those people went, out of here, goodbye, I don't want to be involved with this trouble. About 500 people went, you assholes, and dispersed into small groups, riding around having 30 different mini-masses all over the city. So in some ways, we've got this lever over Dave saying, if you give us shit, we'll break your city. We'll do it for a whole Friday afternoon, and you won't look very good at all.
But that's the beauty of CMAS, is they know that they can't sit at an intersection for 25 minutes. It's almost telepathic. Like there's that...
Follow the leader.
Yeah.
It's situations like that. I step in, I follow, say, okay, they've sit there long enough, time to move on, I'll move off. Once the lead group head off, everyone just follows. But because they've done what they want to do, they've blocked the intersection, done the bike lift, had a yell, had a shout, done their protesting, we go.
People are mammals, people are animals, and I mean that in a very base form. And what happens is, when they get over-aroused, their adrenal gland kicks in, and sometimes they become irrational. And the actual stimulus for what kicks them off could be anything. They call it bicycle rage, road rage. Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of rage out there.
No, I think it's a terrible means of protest. I think you're very lucky you got the police here to protect you.
Conflict with car drivers is inevitable when several hundred cyclists take to the streets. The result can be bad PR.
What I really want to do is go home. I've got to go out and I'm running late.
And you think that everybody should just go out and do whatever you want. Because you're like everybody else in critical mass, you're a bunch of selfish pigs.
Sounds like you're telling me what I want, Stan.
No, I'm just telling you what the majority of people want. What you try to do is tell the majority of people what the minority want. And you, my dear friend, if you haven't realised it as yet, you're still the bloody minority.
To counter the bad publicity from Stan and to send a positive message to his audience, masses launch a quest for good publicity between the March and April rides. Moz's contribution is to race a car to work, to illustrate that bikes are a quicker means of transport into the city.
Well, tomorrow morning, a member of Critical Mass who calls himself Moz is going to challenge Tony, who's a Bingley salesman who loves cars, to a race through peak hour traffic. Moz on his bike and Tony in his car. Now, Moz thinks he can beat Tony hands down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
The driver does have some chance. I mean, if he gets good traffic, if he gets the lights right, he could get there in sort of 15 minutes, which would be how long it's going to take me. But it's unlikely.
It'd be funny to see him whiz past right now and I'm stuck in traffic.
No sign of the boy?
I think I won. Well done, mate.
Bit hot though.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, obviously, if you're in a cycle and you're just cycling along between all the traffic stalled, you're going to get there a lot quicker.
But winning the race hasn't necessarily won the argument, nor the hearts and minds of the car-loving public. To win those hearts and minds, Mass's Gabrielle and Simon dip their toes into the media mainstream and appear on a youth TV show.
With us now on The Joint, two people with very strong legs and healthy lungs. From the bicycle activist collective Critical Mass, welcome Gabrielle and Simon. Thanks for coming in. Why are we so addicted to cars here in Australia? Is it a distance thing of remoteness?
It's a government planning thing. Basically, the government spent a lot of money investing only in roads, and they've been doing that since the 50s.
Cars! So do you think critical mass is having an effect? Is it getting us somewhere towards having the dual carriageway of bikes and cars, giving people a better option?
Well, it certainly raises awareness of cycling. Getting on TV like now and lots of times in the past is certainly a way of showing that we're there. But also, after we rode across the bridge 2 years ago, that's the Harbour Bridge, we managed to get a meeting with the Minister for Transport, or rather the Minister for Roads. So yeah, it does actually make an impact.
Critical Mass is an eclectic, diverse group with no official leaders or structure. While Simon and Gabrielle advance the cause in a TV studio, another group of masses gather in a dark hideaway to devise a cunning plan to get the media and the public on side.
Coming to Sydney, the pollution it's filthy. It's a filthy city, and you know, what can you say? It's the truth. But I don't think it's all about don't drive a car. I think it's about have a bit of respect for people who choose alternative transport.
Has anyone here actually ridden their bicycle naked?
Ever?
Ever ridden naked?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never have.
I never have. Oh, not in the city.
Well,
In the country.
What's it like?
Well, for a girl, it's probably different to being a boy. But it's quite nice. Like, hygiene's fine if you don't share bikes.
People would really listen if you sort of tapped on their window while you're riding by and you were nude and you sort of said, hey, do you know what we're all about?
I mean, the nude thing's kind of fun and great and so on, but I think you'd have to, I'd want to be kind of like carrying a slogan or something.
I mean, just being nude for nude's sake is just exhibition.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not political.
It needs meaning behind it.
Yeah.
While the masses continue to debate the merits of a naked ride, News of the stunt has leaked to the media.
And they're challenging you to get naked.
Beautiful.
Okay, you prepared to get naked?
Absolutely not. If I had anything that could remotely impress them, I would get it out and show them to them today. But I've been tying a brick on it for weeks and nothing's happening, mate.
Having just interviewed the naked chef, Mike Jeffries, a popular drive time talkback host, invites the Seamasser to discuss the naked stunt.
Ian Holland was just saying to me from up in the aircraft there that members of your organisation were complaining about the fact that I'd been saying some critical masses apparently will be nude or provocatively dressed this afternoon, but that is the case, isn't it?
There are some people who are psyching themselves up at the moment, and I think they're going to do it nude. I think there's probably about 5.
If they ride in the nude, they're committing an offence. It's a summary offence. But again, let's wait and see. I guess let's just wait and see what happens.
I'll just do one, see if it works, and maybe you can fatten it up with a decent texture.
I mean, in the sense that critical mass is a media stunt in itself, if we can get media every month or every 2 months of a street full of cyclists going, we want more space, that is going to work its way into the brains of people.
Not as much as all 10 minutes. Well, I'd have a bit of a laugh.
Propaganda?
Okay.
Me? You've already got a flag. You want some propaganda?
The streets are full. It's a freezing autumn evening.
The only thing to wear really wears the helmet, isn't it? It's got
Do the boys really want to climb onto a cold, hard bike seat and make their privates public?
The team ride? Where's Adam? I forgot my sausages.
The boys choose a comical, less confronting way to pull off the stunt. They get to keep their pants on, and the media get the message.
More cycle ways to Sydney!
Bothering me at all. I think what you're doing is a good thing.
Are you going to change people's viewpoints if you're going to do this? I suppose that's what you're trying to do, aren't you?
I think it chips away at the edges. I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's radically changed the minds of the powers that be.
The radio stations that gave bad press last time are those typical talk back, fire up all the motorists, get them pissed off at the cyclists. But if the people are laughing and the motorists are laughing at the cyclists, then it definitely stops people getting aggro. And
if people can laugh and smile and see some way into it, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It looked good. It came across well. It was well received by the people on the street, and it was, from my perspective, a sigh of relief that we didn't have any nude cyclists.
The underpants is a media stunt. For me, it was like a 2-second wonder. But as soon as the system says, hey, yeah, cyclists are an important part of our lives, that's me. I'm happy. My motivation is a desire to share with people, a desire to show people that there's another way. The air pollution from cars, the way they suck up the land for roads, the way they suck money, and just showing people by example, you can live a different way.